Hey guys, it's Bree, and welcome back to another video. So for today's video, I am going to be going through my January manga haul. Now, some of these books were picked up in the end of December after my last haul, but for the most part, most of these books came in throughout January. So let's get into the manga. So one of the first volumes that I picked up was Stravaganza, The Queen of the Iron Mask, Volume 1. I hadn't really heard too much about this manga in particular, so I just decided to check it out. I just really like the aesthetic of the main character wearing this iron mask. She just reminds me of Queen Annalise of the Vile Bloods from Bloodborne, and I am very into that. I actually did read this first volume, and I did enjoy it, so I might check out the other volumes. Next up, we have Volume 4 of Prince Freya. I was so excited to get my hands on this copy. I read this almost immediately, and yeah, Prince Freya continues to be a really fun series to read. At the very end of December, Indigo was doing a big sale on a whole bunch of their Viz titles, so I did pick up quite a few Viz titles in particular. So I managed to catch up with Kakuryou Bed and Breakfast for Spirits by picking up Volume 5 and Volume 6. I also picked up Volume 5 of Blue Flag. I was so excited to read this that I actually read it ahead of time on the Shonen Jump app, but I am still so happy to own this physically as well. It is such an amazing series. I also picked up Drifting Dragons Volume 7. This series continues to just be very fun to read, and I really like it. In January, I also picked up Inali and Duella. This is a title by Kamone Shirohama, who also did Witch Hat Atelier, which is one of my favorite series ever. I just love her art style so much, and this volume was very fun to read. I'm glad that I picked it up. For Christmas, my boyfriend actually picked up a manga for me, and it was the first volume of Vinland Saga. I haven't read this yet, but I am super excited to dive into it. I just honestly have a lot of manga to read this month. During the Viz sale, I also picked up the first volume of the An Incurable Case of Love. I've heard a lot of really good things about this series, so I decided to check it out. And yeah, just picked it up. I also picked up Volume 6 of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. I continue to really like this series. I haven't read Volume 6 yet, but I am very excited to dive into it. And to top off this pile, I also picked up the Paradise Kiss Omnibus, the 20th anniversary edition. This is literally the longest omnibus that I have in my collection. It is so many pages, super thick boy, but I read it, and honestly, it was so good. I highly recommend checking out this series. I'll probably talk more about it in my January manga wrap-up. Another manga that I was very into this month was The Strange Tale of Panorama Island. I actually heard about this manga from That Manga Kid or The Manga Kid on YouTube. I love his channel, and honestly, this pickup was one of the best of this month, and this read was probably the best of this month. It was so good. I love it. It's in this giant hardcover book, and it is just so wonderful. Continuing on with the Viz sale, I picked up a lot of volumes of Oku. I want to try and complete Oku and then read through all of it because I have a feeling that this is the type of series that will probably go out of print and be really hard to find. So I wanted to pick it up as soon as possible. So this is Volume 4, Oku Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7, Volume 8, Volume 9, Volume 10, Volume 11 is still coming in the mail, so I haven't actually received it yet, but here is Volume 12, Volume 13, Volume 14, and Volume 15. There are currently 17 volumes out in the series, so I plan on picking up the last 2 volumes. I'm not in the biggest rush anymore because I know that those are for sure currently in print. I'm just very excited to have Oku in my collection, and I'm really excited to actually read through the series. The first 3 volumes I really deeply enjoyed, and yeah, just super happy to have them. This month in the Viz sale, I also started picking up Monster because I heard that this series is just so good and I haven't actually read it yet. I couldn't get volume 1 because it was completely out of stock, but I got volume 2, volume 3, and volume 4. Very excited to get volume 1 and actually start reading through this series. Next, I also picked up Kageki Shoujo, The Curtain Rises, which is an omnibus volume. I don't know if there's going to be multiple of these. I think it's just 1 volume, but I haven't read this yet, but it looks really good. I am very excited to read it. I also picked up volume 3 of My Dress Up Darling. I continue to really like this series, and volume 3 was very fun, so I'm excited to see what happens in the upcoming volumes. I also managed to get my hands on Spy Family Volume 3. Very excited to dive into this volume, although I have been keeping up with the series on the Shonen Jump app as well. It's always nice to be able to reread it in a physical volume. Next is my last part of this Viz sale haul, as well as the last bit of manga that I picked up that was new. I got the full series of Astra Lost in Space just because I loved it so much when I read it on the Shonen Jump app that I figured I probably wanted a physical copy in my collection to be able to reread. And so, yeah, I'm just so happy to have it. This is Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, and Volume 5. Moving on, now I am going to show some of the second-hand manga that I picked up this month. I didn't really pick up that much, so it's only going to be 4 volumes, but let's dive into them. So I actually picked up a series this month, and it is Andromeda Stories by Keiko Takamiya. I can't remember if I actually showed one of these volumes in a previous haul, but I did manage to actually complete collecting this series, so I'm just going to show volume 1 again if I already previously shown it, but here is volume 2 and volume 3. I am so happy to have both Terra E or To Terra by Keiko Takamiya as well as Andromeda Stories. Honestly, Towards the Terra is one of my favorite anime ever, and I really love the manga too. So I'm very excited to read another series by Keiko Takamiya. On this space theme that is apparently happening for this month, I also picked up the first volume of Saturn Apartments. Now, I did hear that this series is kind of hard to find sometimes, but I just got the first volume secondhand. It's a library copy, so it is a little bit beat up, but not the worst. I also realized I was holding it upside down. Sorry. The character is supposed to be upside down, but this is the right way that the volume should be displayed. So there you have it. This was my manga haul for January. I honestly picked up a lot of volumes this month. It was actually so many that I am very behind on my TBR. So definitely stay tuned to hear a lot of my thoughts on these various series. Let me know in the comments if you have read any of these series or if you like any of these series. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you have a great day. Bye!